Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Let's Play Mega Man Unlimited. Last time we took out the first 4 Robot Masters, got a view of the brand new story Mega Man Unlimited had for us, and now we're going to do what we always do. We're going to take out the last 4, starting with Yo-Yo Man. If there is a Robot Master that I would absolutely not recommend going after first, it's definitely Yo-Yo Man. Yo-Yo Man is without a doubt... How do I describe it? Yo-Yo Man is without a doubt the most unpredictable of the 8 Robot Masters, and absolutely not someone you want to go after first, unless you are very, very good at the game, and have been practicing, because this game actually allows you to practice fighting Robot Masters. It's something we're going to take a look at in the extras video, but this game does have a mode where you can fight bosses. Now the twist is, in these rematch fights, you only have 1 health, and you don't have access to any special weapons. So basically the practice you get in on fighting these robots is the get good kind of practice. The practice where it's merciless, it just throws you right into the middle of the action, it demands that you be a Robot Master with 1 health and just your Mega Buster. You know, just get good. And that's what I did, which is what allowed me to actually record this faster than normal. Because normally, if I mess up on a stage, I have to restart from the very beginning and do it again and again and again. And because there aren't, in most of the Mega Man games anyway, because there aren't easy ways to refight robots besides going through the entire stage again and again and again, it took a while longer to record those. But in this case, I was able to practice fighting robots all I wanted before actually doing the stages. So, another score for Mega Man Unlimited. It's little changes like that that just makes Mega Man Unlimited accessible to everyone. It's not an easy game. I'm gonna keep saying that again and again. This is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's accessible to all Mega Man fans and people who want to get into Mega Man in general and really want to get into Mega Man, because again, this game's really fucking hard. But all the modes, all the little touches here and there, like, you know, you can see it on the screen. I didn't mention it in part 1 because I forgot, but it actually counts how many lives you have just on the screen, right under the health. That's a small thing, but it's not done in Mega Man normally, at least not the classic era Mega Man. And the fact that it's done here is just, you know, it's another small change. It's a small change that makes a big difference in the quality of product that you get. And it's why this is my absolute favorite fan Mega Man game ever made. Ever. Just ever. It's my favorite fan Mega Man game ever. I feel a lot better today, because this is actually the first time I've done a recording for a Mega Man game where I'm not recording everything in the same day. Usually when I do a recording, I try to record everything in one day, one after the other. Probably a little break in between each one, but normally it's all one day. In this case, it's actually been a few days, because I think I mentioned in part 1 that I had a sore throat. I probably mentioned in part 1 that I had a sore throat. I had a sore throat for like a week, and it was awful. But, you know, got better. After I did part 1, I decided to rest a little longer just to make sure my voice was back in 100% tippity-top condition, and it is. By the way, back there we collected a mini E-Tank. That is another small thing that Mega Phil X added to this game that's really, really special. He just takes random things from other random Mega Man games that work, in this case the mini E-Tanks from the Mega Man games for Game Boy, and just includes them in this game. Mini E-Tanks work as they've always done. You collect 4 and they pretty much create 1 full E-Tank. You can't use mini E-Tanks until you've collected 4. But once you collect 4, you pretty much have yourself a free E-Tank you didn't have to buy. Yo-Yo Man's stage is really difficult. It took me a few tries to do this. But those spinning round death ball yo-yo things that aren't actually yo-yos because they don't go back, they just keep following you. Really annoying. The gimmick of the stage with those platforms, real difficult, especially at the very end there. Pretty relentless in how much health it gives you. I had to actually use an E-Tank here because, again, Yo-Yo Man is not easy. Yo-Yo Man is unpredictable. Yo-Yo Man is kind of a bitch. He has 3 attacks. He either swings from the middle of the screen, throws a couple of yo-yos down at you. Yo-yos will eventually go back to him. Then he either jumps and throws 2 yo-yos, or he's going to stand perfectly still and throw 2 yo-yos. There's no rhyme or reason to the order of his attacks. He does whatever he wants, whenever he wants. Sometimes he jumps, sometimes he swings from the middle of the screen and throws 2 yo-yos, sometimes he stands still and throws 2 yo-yos, sometimes he jumps around and throws 2 yo-yos. It's difficult, it's unpredictable. He's not a robot I'd go after first. Definitely go in there with either the charged Mega Buster or his weakness, which was the jet missile. I am going in weakness order, by the way. I mentioned this in part 1 probably, but I am going in weakness order. And actually, and you know what, before I go back to that, I forgot to add this here. I wanted to show you the options menu. Because again, this game gives you so many options and so much customizability. That's not even a word, but I made it a word. Customizability. So you can change between the music that we've been listening to. You know, if you wanted to listen to the original Comet Woman stage, then Comet Woman stage theme, then you change the music to alternate, from alternate to original. If you wanted to listen to the new version of Rainbow Man stage, you turn to alternate, etc., etc., etc. There was also something there called short scenes and Omega weapons. Short scenes is something we're not going to get into in this playthrough because there's no point. This is a playthrough where I'm showing you everything, so I'm going to play all the cutscenes in stages as they were originally intended to be. That being said, there are certain cutscenes in stages, in the final stages specifically, where there will actually be cutscenes in the middle of a stage at some point. We'll get to them when we get to them. Basically, short scenes let you skip those and, you know, move right on to the boss fights or the stages that those cutscenes are preceding, I should say. I can do words. See? Classic me thing. I can do words. That's the thing I can do. Point is, if you're a speedrunner and you want to just skip those cutscenes, then, you know, you have the ability to skip those cutscenes. Omega weapons is something we're going to cover in the extras video. For now, though, Glue Man stage. Interesting gimmick. Basically, there's just certain pieces of ground where you're not going to be able to walk on. And by walk, I mean you can't actually hold left or right of the D-pad and, you know, walk left or right. You're going to have to just continuously jump and jump and jump, in which, because of where some of the spikes are, you know, kind of difficult to do. In this case, this little conveyor belt, unlike the Tank Man conveyor belt in the Tank Man stage where it launches you in the direction that the conveyor belt is moving, the Glue Man conveyor belts are covered in glue, so Mega Man will be stuck to the top of it. Use that to your advantage. Be careful not to jump off under pits or spikes or anything like that, you know? Not much to it. Glue Man is actually a pretty easy stage if you have Nail Man's weapon, because there is a shortcut, there is an alternate path in this stage that is pretty much cuts the stage by like 3 minutes, like 3 whole minutes if you take it. That's if you have a Nail Man's weapon. Well, no, you know what? You do need a Nail Man's weapon to get through it successfully, but you need, you know, Tri Nitro Blast or the Tank Arsenal to actually get through. Here's the alternate path right now. You need the Tank Arsenal or the Tri Nitro Blast to actually access the path, but to actually make the path easier for yourself, you need Nail Shield, as you can see. Believe me, it's not worth it to go through this section without the shield weapon. Again, it's a very useful shortcut. It cuts like 3 minutes off the stage. You're going to see, because I'm going to show the alternate path, obviously. Well, I'm going to show the original path. This is the alternate path, obviously. And you will see just how much that little conveyor belt section cuts from the overall stage. Because we're already at the end of the stage. This right here, this bit where the paths converge, this is the end of the stage right now. Let's go ahead and show you the rest of the stage. Again, it's an interesting gimmick. They do a lot with it for the stage, so, you know, kudos to them. If you already have the Nail Shield and have beaten Tank Man or Tri Nitro Man as well, definitely go for the stage, because the stage becomes very easy when you have those 2 or 3 specific weapons. Again, Nail Shield, Tank Arsenal, or Nail Shield and Tank Arsenal, or the Tri Nitro Blast. Because you need to access the alternate path, but you also have to have a way to make the alternate path easy for yourself. If you have those materials, then Glue Man stage is a breeze. Otherwise, it's just another super long stage where they do a lot of stuff with their gimmick. Again, not a bad thing, but these stages do kind of overstay their welcome. I said that in part 1, I'm going to say it again because it's still true. Hope you're enjoying my voice, by the way, because, again, my sore throat's better. But more importantly, I have a new microphone. Brand new. It works way better than the old crappy $15 one did. Took me long enough to finally get this. It's not, you know, studio professional grade, but this is a step up from the previous one that I had, and I like it. It's pretty good. It works very well and catches the baritone of my voice. That fucking platypus. I died here quite a few times trying to record this alternate path. Lots of interesting enemies in this stage. Again, this game just does such a good job at, you know, something about a lot of Mega Man fan projects. Not all Mega Man fan projects, obviously. There's plenty of Mega Man fan projects that don't do this, but a lot of them reuse old assets in one way or another. And this one doesn't. And even when it does reuse old assets, like the Med Tools, obviously, which are a staple of the Mega Man series, they just find a way to make it interesting. With the tower gimmick, or shooting lasers, or Mets on treads, or the underwater Mets that we'll meet later. It's just, they do a good job. This is such a well-made game. It's so obvious just how much they cared about this game as they were making it. And this is a pretty tricky section. You gotta be very, very careful of that conveyor belt. And I think we're actually done with this section. I think after this, we move on to the end of the stage, right? Yep, paths converge. Okay. Time to move on to the end of the stage. And fight Glue Man. Deceptively tricky robot master. Some people don't have a problem with him. The way I play the game, I do. I cannot beat this guy without his weakness, or at least I couldn't. I actually didn't manage to beat him in the perfect run version that I was talking about with the Yo-Yo Man stage, the version where you can actually practice fighting robot masters with 1 health and no special weapons. I actually managed to beat him there. Deceptively tricky though. Be very careful. Glue Man is a bitch. He does so much contact damage. It's insane. Like, I think 2 or 3 hits is enough to kill you. It's ludicrous. Which is actually the only reason why he's so difficult. It's because how much contact damage he does. It's because how little room for error there is. That Glue Man is so tricky. The way I actually beat him, as you can see, you can do that with the regular buster, the charge buster, or the weakness. It works no matter what. It's specifically just how much effing damage he does and how deceptively accurate he is at throwing his glue shots that... Ugh. But speaking of which, we got the glue shot. And with the glue shot, we can actually go ahead and re-explore Tank Man stage. Specifically, this little section here at the beginning. This is like right at the beginning where you've... Yeah, this is just right at the beginning. This section has a Yoku Man letter hidden in it. So, hidden in it. Hidden in it. It's hidden in it. Pretty easy to get. Not too much to it once you actually have the ability to get into this section of the level. I didn't mention during Tank Man stage because I was waiting until we actually had the proper weapon to get in here and get what we needed. It's one of a few alternate paths that hides a Yoku letter. Not all alternate paths hide a special secret something. Like Glue Man stage, for example, had an alternate path, but didn't hide anything special or important like a Yoku letter. But this one does. And you need the glue shot for it. If you don't have the glue shot, it's impossible to get this. So once you beat Glue Man, you can go after Tank Man if you want. Or if you already went after Tank Man like I did, then you can go ahead and, you know, come back with the Glue Man weapon and get what you need. Using the yo-yo weapon a little bit there. The special weapons in this game are very, very useful. Not just for getting to alternate paths, but they're just very, very powerful and very easy to use in general, unlike the Mega Man 10 special weapons. One of my only complaints about Mega Man 10 is just how bad most of the special weapons in that game are, but not in this game. In this game, most of the special weapons are extremely useful, both for their primary purpose, for exploring other areas of the stage, and by the way, the conversion is here at the mini boss. We're going to move on now. Special weapons are extremely useful in a whole bunch of situations in this game. They're fantastic. They're phenomenal. I love all the special weapons in this game. Now, though, we're going to go after Rainbow Man. He has 2 themes, so I will see you when the themes are done playing. Okay, I am back. Also, by the way, I have my air conditioner running, so, you know, hope that doesn't bother you too much, but it's really, really hot, and I refuse to do the thing that I normally do, which is, you know, actually turn my AC off for this. That was the first path of Rainbow Man stage, and let me start talking about Rainbow Man stage. Insta-death, the stage! Those crazy insta-kill lasers from Quickman stage, they're back in full force in Rainbow Man stage. They are the entire stage. There are things that you can use to manipulate the lasers. There are things that make big giant rainbow lasers. There are lasers everywhere in the stage. There's lasers above the water. There's lasers under the water. There's lasers every fucking where. Every fucking little crevice you can imagine, there are gonna be lasers. By the way, if you want to get to the alternate path, you need either the glue shot or the Comet Dash. Comet Dash is easier, by the way, if you were wondering, because the glue shot takes you into a little crevice with, you guessed it, another motherfucking insta-kill laser. I love this stage, and I hate this stage. It's got a great theme. Hate the lasers so much. Although I actually, funny, I got through this entire underwater section in one try. And that's because Comet Dash actually gives you invincibility frames. I didn't mention when you actually get I didn't mention when we actually got to Comet Dash. See, I can talk. But it gives you invincibility frames when you're actually doing the Comet Dash, when you're actually in the dash animation, sprite, and whatever. You're actually invincible, which saved me from that insta-kill laser back there. Very useful. Come to the stage when you have Comet Dash, because holy shit is it so useful. I didn't realize until I was doing this underwater section that I actually got invincibility frames with Comet Dash, but you do, and it's wonderful, and so useful, and I mean, love-hate relationship with the stage. Good and bad. This alternate path, by the way, takes you to a Yoku letter, the K. We have 3 of the 4 Yoku letters. The last one is in Tri-Nitro Man stage, where we'll be going after next. For now, though, gonna go ahead and take on Rainbow Man. I was pretty nervous coming in to take on Rainbow Man because I actually, again, I got through that whole underwater section in one try, and I was super nervous about dying and having to do all that again and not doing as well the second time, so I used his weakness. You don't have to use his weakness. I also get hit a couple of times, despite the fact that he's actually a very easy robot with a very predictable pattern. Well, not a predictable pattern, but it's always the same pattern every time. He shoots a laser, he runs to the other side of the screen, 2 rain clouds raining, electricity comes down on both sides. The side of the electricity falls down first is the side he's going to appear out of. He's going to fire down a little pillar thingy that he's going to then shoot a rainbow beam into that will make a giant insta-kill laser. That's right. Insta-kill lasers, even in the boss. The rainbow beam itself is not insta-kill, by the way. Don't worry about that. And he will leave himself open, where he will jump to the other side of the screen and repeat his pattern again and again and again until he's dead, or until you're dead. So, enjoy. You got rainbow beam. You can either shoot it, or you can press the fire button again after you fired it to create a giant rainbow circle to damage things a lot. Anyway, final boss. Tri-Nitro Man. Originally called Nitro Man back in the early days of this game's development. Again, this game has had a very long development, 5 years. This is back, it started before Mega Man 10 was even a thing. So back before Mega Man 10 was even a thing, this game was called Mega Man 10. This boss was called Nitro Man. Can't really do that when Capcom releases an official licensed game called Mega Man 10 with a boss called Nitro Man. So they didn't scrap the concept because this is a really, really good boss idea. So they just renamed him Tri-Nitro Man. Genius! Anyway, this is easily the, of the 8 stages, I would say this is easily the, not the toughest, because Rainbow Man and its insta-kill lasers will make it the most aggravating of all the stages. This is easily, I think this is the longest of the stages. That's what I want to say. I'm pretty sure this is the longest of all of the stages. Yeah, that's a pretty safe assumption. It also has an alternate path. It also has gravity gimmicks. It also has exploding platforms. It has very, very volatile substances that you can use to, you know, launch yourself up. It has giant crabs. It has everything a difficult final Robot Master stage should. Definitely don't go after this guy first. He even has an attack in his boss battle that can kill you in one hit. I mean, technically he doesn't kill you in one hit. You'll see when we actually get to him. It's quite something. Very creative. This stage also has the final Yoku letter, as I mentioned before, the O. You don't need anything to get this letter except maybe Rush Jet. You know, even then, you don't actually need Rush Jet. It's recommended you have Rush Jet or Comet Dash. Something to make platforming a little easier, but, you know, you don't actually need it. That being said, I am going to use it because I died a lot in this stage. And that's because my PS4 controller was not reading correctly when I plugged it into the computer to play this game. I could not use the D-pad at all. That's not great for a 2D platformer like Mega Man. That's difficult and demands a lot out of you. In fact, it was almost debilitating, but I think I did pretty well in this playthrough, considering I had to play the entire thing on an analog stick. Not my first choice. I don't know why either. I mean, I tried regular emulators with regular Mega Man games, and the D-pad worked just fine there, so don't know what the fuck happened here, but it happened. And by the way, I'm being super careful here because this stage is long, it's difficult, doesn't have good checkpoints. Again, my complaint about this game, my only sole major complaint about this game, stages are too long / checkpoints are not well placed in general. Paths converge here. We're going to go ahead and explore the regular path now. The top path. The path most players will take their first time around. Well, I assume they do, because there's no Yoku letter hidden here, which means that, you know, this is probably the intended path for first-time players. This was the first Mega Man game I saw anything about since I played Mega Man 9. Like I mentioned on Mega Man 9 playthrough that I believe that was the very first Mega Man game I ever played. After that, before I went to playing the original Mega Man games, I actually saw footage of this first. Like very, very, very early footage and YouTube videos where soundtrack and... This game got me excited for Mega Man, for the franchise as a whole. So, you know, kudos to this game. It's very special. Very special, very well done. Not something you see often with fan games based off established IPs. Lots of fan games, non-profit, are wonderful and amazing. This is one of the few fan games of an established IP that I think is absolutely wonderful and holds up just as well as the official games. And in some cases is better than the official games because, you know, this is done by a small group of people that actually really, really care about the franchise and know about the franchise. No, my AC's turning off. I live in an apartment building, so I don't have like a regular AC unit. I have an AC unit that turns on when when it gets to be a certain degree of hotness. And then it turns back up after it reaches that the desired threshold. In this case, a nice, cool, comfortable 74 degrees. Oh, paths converge here. We're done. That's the regular path. A lot more of the volatile substances in that path compared to the alternate path. Of course, the alternate path throws all that grapple stuff at you, so. Pick your battles. And another mini E-tank. Woo! There we go. Go get the mini E-tank. Again, if you see me making any mistakes or pausing suddenly back in part 1 or in this part or in the future, that's because I'm playing on an analog stick, and a little awkward to play this game on an analog stick. Analog stick. And that's that. We're at the end of the stage. Good stage. Good final show. You definitely want to go into this boss battle with a rainbow beam. This boss is not easy. Like I said, this boss has an instant kill attack. It's not a normal attack by any stretch of the imagination. In a regular battle, just shoot your rainbow beam, and that's that. The gimmick of Trinitro Man, besides him flying around, is that little volatile container at the top of his head. If you hit that 4 times, you're dead. And he explodes. He doesn't die, though. He doesn't lose all his HP and, you know, you win the stage. He just explodes in a very dramatic fashion that takes you with him. 4 pellet shots to that little volatile container at the top of his head blow him up, thus blowing you up. So if you are fighting with the Mega Buster, aim for the body. Do not aim for the head. It does more damage, but after, I think, 3 or 4 shots, it blows up, and that's that. You're done. So be very careful fighting Trinitro Man. Definitely use his weakness if you want to play it safe. And we got the Nitro Blast, which also destroys those walls that Tank Man can destroy. Cutscene. Rock, incoming transmission. Oh. Blues. Proto Man?
Mega Man, I've located Wily's castle. Something went wrong here. Repeat, something went wrong here. The place is completely wrecked.
Be careful, Proto Man. All the robots there are infected with the virus. This is what's causing them to go berserk. It's a more potent form of Roboenza.
Virus, huh? Oh, wait a minute. I think I found where Wily's being held captive. Going in for a closer look.
How is he? How is Albert?
What? You!
Proto Man! Proto Man, what's wrong? I gotta find him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. See you all next time for the final castle. Oh, or not. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all next time for part 3, where we take on 2 very special stages and collect 2 very special robot powers from 2 very special robot masters. See you all then. Bye-bye.